Merry Christmas and welcome to an extended edition of Fact Fridays. Did you know the Covina Massacre was a mass murder carried out on Christmas Eve in 2008 by a disgruntled ex-husband in Los Angeles, California? Bruce Jeffrey Pardo, aged 45, wearing a Santa suit, entered a property belonging to his former in-laws in Covina and killed 9 people by shooting them and then setting the house alight. Pardo was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot at his brother's residence in the early hours of Christmas Day. Police speculated that Pardo's divorce, which had been finalised only 1 week before the killings, was a factor in why Pardo had decided to kill his ex-wife and her relatives. Pardo lived in the San Fernando Valley and was a graduate of John H. Francis Polytechnic High School in Sun Valley, LA, and California State University. He had also spent time working at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory nearby. In 2004, he met Sylvia Ortega, who he would go on to marry. Police speculate that the motive of Pardo's attack was related to marital problems. After the couple wed in January 2006, their marriage quickly fell apart within the first year because Pardo refused to open a joint bank account with Sylvia. He also expected his wife to use her own finances to take care of her own 3 children. There is some speculation that the divorce may have also been caused by Pardo concealing a child from a previous relationship. This child had been severely injured in a swimming pool accident several years prior, for which Pardo did not pay child or spousal support. In June 2008, a divorce court ordered Pardo to pay $1,785 a month in spousal support. During the divorce proceedings, Pardo confided to a friend that his wife was taking him to the cleaners. In July, Pardo, who had no criminal record or history of violence, was fired from his job as an electrical engineer at ITT Corporation Electronic Systems Radar Systems for billing false hours. The divorce court suspended the support payments due to financial hardship. However, as part of the divorce settlement, Pardo was required to pay his ex-wife $10,000 and she was permitted to keep her wedding ring and family dog. Pardo complained to the court that Sylvia was living with her parents, not paying rent, and had spent lavishly on a luxury car, gambling trips to Las Vegas, meals at expensive restaurants, massages, and golf lessons. Pardo and Sylvia finalised their divorce a week prior to the attack. At approximately 11:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve, in the dining room of their Covina home, Joseph, or Papa Joe, Ortega, his wife of 53 years, and their children had been playing a late-night game of Texas Hold'em after Christmas Eve dinner. Their grandchildren played video games and hung out near the backyard pool. On the second floor, the Ortega's 17-year-old grandson, Michael Ortiz, pecked away at a computer. Then, there was a knock on the front door and the squeal of an 8-year-old girl, happily crying Santa Claus. Bruce Pardo, dressed in a Santa suit, arrived at his former in-laws' house in a rental car. He had with him multiple 9mm handguns and a large gift-wrapped package containing a rolling air compressor converted to spray racing fuel. When he knocked on the door and his 8-year-old niece answered, Pardo pulled out the handgun and immediately shot her in the face. He then fired indiscriminately at fleeing partygoers, which included 2 of her uncles, who also fell to the ground wounded. The Ortegas and 3 of their daughters, including the gunman's ex-wife, dived under the dining table for cover, but it would prove no use. After opening fire with the handguns, Pardo unwrapped the package containing the compressor and sprayed fuel around the interior of the home. Police believe that the fire was intended to be ignited with a flare, but when the fuel contacted an open flame in the house, there was an explosion. One of the survivors made it to a neighbour's house where she called police and identified Pardo as the likely suspect. Pardo had apparently planned a detailed escape. He had rented multiple rental cars and parked one near the house of his ex-wife's divorce attorney, full of supplies and maps of the Southwest and Mexico. Police speculate that the attorney may have also been a target. Pardo had also made plans to visit a friend in Iowa and had purchased a Christmas morning plane ticket from Los Angeles to Illinois. He was also carrying cash strapped to his body. However, the explosion and fire had left Pardo with 3rd-degree burns on his arms and legs. After setting the home on fire, Pardo changed out of the Santa suit and drove to his brother's house in Sylmar, where he was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. His brother was not present in the home at the time of Pardo's death. One of Pardo's rental cars was parked 1 block from his brother's house, containing remnants of his Santa suit, which was booby-trapped so that moving the suit would trigger a fire and set off 200 rounds of ammunition. At Pardo's house in Montrose, police had recovered 5 empty boxes for semi-automatic handguns, 2 shotguns, and a container for high-octane fuel tank gasoline. They also found what was described as a virtual bomb-making factory in his home. Between the gunfire and the flames, a total of 9 family members were killed and 3 were injured. Although the 8-year-old was wounded, as was a 16-year-old girl who was shot in the back, the only minor killed in the attack was Michael Ortiz, the 17-year-old who was sitting at the computer on the 2nd floor. Investigators believe that Michael was apparently killed by the explosion or fire started by 2 tanks that Pardo had fused together to create a device capable of quickly engulfing the house in flame. Michael Ortiz's mother, Alicia Ortiz, who was the daughter of Joseph and Alicia Ortega, was also killed. The Ortegas, 4 of their children, 2 daughters-in-law, and the teenager at the computer would all die at the hands of Bruce Jeffrey Pardo. Thank you for listening to this extended edition of Fact Fridays. We hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.